Hello, my name is Sarah Morris, and I'm a local Las Vegas estate planning and probate attorney. Today, I wanted to compare wills to trusts because I think that's how it's easiest to explain what each is if you compare them to each other. So let's start with a will. In a will, you have some control over what happens when you pass away. So meaning, in a will, you can nominate who is going to manage your estate when you're no longer here and who gets what. In a trust, you actually have more control because you can actually decide when they get your stuff. So it's not just who gets it, but you can put rules and restrictions in place in terms of how they get your stuff. So a popular example is if you have children and you have a trust, you can have the trust say they don't get the money until they're a certain age, such as 30, or maybe they don't get the money unless they go to college and get a degree or they attain the age of 30. So you have a lot more control in trust than you do in wills. Another thing to consider is in a will, your information is public, meaning once you pass away, your heirs are going to have to lodge the will with the court and then open up what's called probate, which is essentially a lawsuit that your heirs have to file in order to get title to your assets transferred to the people you either said in the will or just by statute because you didn't say anything. And that means that everything in your will is public, your assets will be public, and your heirs are going to have to notify the creditors, not only just by mail, but you're going to actually have to have creditors notified by publication in a newspaper. So all your stuff is going to be out there in the public eye. Versus a trust, where everything is actually put in the trust while you're still alive, so that when you pass away, you don't own anything in your own name. So there's nothing that needs to be probated. It's already in the trust's name. So you don't have it's not aired for public consumption. So that's one real advantage to a trust, is that everything is kept private. The next thing I want to mention, and probably the final thing, is in a will, you cannot avoid court most of the time, meaning that you absolutely have to go to court, which is kind of what I mentioned earlier. But in a will, your heirs are going to have to go to court to get your stuff. In a trust, they don't have to go to court at all because everything's in the trust. So it allows your heirs to avoid court. It also keeps everything private, and you have more control when you have a trust. If you want to talk about this anymore, please feel free to call my office. I offer complimentary 15-minute phone consults. You can book directly on our website, or you can call and schedule with our front desk. Until next time, I'll see you later.